Hey, beautiful souls, beautiful sunshine here with DR Holistic Healer, aka Sonia B. So I am back with this quick intuitive message. So let me give you guys this quick message, okay? So pay attention to this. I don't know what service provider that you may be using in regards to cable, but nevertheless, just watch out for this one particular commercial, okay? Because God had actually revealed something to me the other day. There's this particular cruise, right? And it states Virgin Cruise, right? But then for the advertisement, they had all these children up there, kind of like saying like what the cruise was, I guess, offering, talking about our parents need a break and so on and so on. But nevertheless, see, some people will look at that and just be like, oh, they just got the kids advertising saying that the parents need a break. No, it's much deeper than that, because one thing you have to understand in this spiritual world, like I say all that to say, because 2 years ago, or either last year, around about this particular time between now and the month of, like, I feel like October, it always seems to be there's some issues going on in regards to trafficking, right? I don't know if that's its all-time high during that time because of the weather and, you know, and so on and so on. But I say all that to say I'm just making you guys mindful. So our job as parents, whether we're mothers or whether we're fathers, are to protect our kids, okay? And not allow society to make us think that we don't have any power nor any control over certain situations, okay? So I'm only here to share this information with you. And God had actually told, because I kind of let it bypass the first time, and God was like, no, do a video on that, right? Because I was meant to see it, and then I kept seeing it, right? So I say all that to say, and then I was writing down the information he was giving me at the time. So first of all, we have situations too. There's so many kids who end up missing, okay? And as a matter of fact, thank you, Spirit, I almost forgot about this. When I actually saw one incident on TikTok, I guess somebody had recorded this, because I just did a message and said that some mothers were gonna feel hopeless, like as if they couldn't protect their kids in a sense, okay? So, and that wasn't me just basically speaking that. No, that was something that some people was about to experience. So somebody had recorded a situation. I felt really bad for this mom in a sense. You know, my heart went out to her in a sense, like, you know, her child, literally somebody saw on their Ring camera that this car had circled around and picked up their child, their daughter in a sense, okay? And I say all that to say that, you know, somebody saw it and I guess must have reported, called the cops and told the mom or whatever the case may be. But nevertheless, it was heartbreaking, okay? Because it's just heartbreaking. But I say all that to say that there have been so many kids who have been missing, okay? We all know Adam Walsh, you know, had his son that was missing years ago. And I don't even know if people even still entertain, you know, America's Most Wanted or whatever. But, you know, I guess because he does other things. But nevertheless, we should never forget that, because our kids should be important and they should be first, okay? Well, not first in front of God, but I'm just saying that God gave us our children to protect them, okay? So I say all that to say that I didn't like this video. I didn't like that commercial at all, okay? So because it stated virgin, okay? And kids are innocent, okay? So I say all that to say on the cruise line, it was referred to as virgin, okay? But then they have these kids sitting up here, in the commercial, and I took offense to it in a sense, because I was like, oh my God, like, do people probably even just see this cruise and be like, oh, look how cute, they got this kid saying, yeah, send your parents on a vacation. No, y'all. One thing you have to understand is universal law states, and this is something I didn't know at first, so I'm sharing this with you. Universal law states that society has to tell you what it is that they're doing. So if they're trafficking somebody, or if they are pushing some drugs, those are just examples. If they are trying to hurt, harm, and injure somebody, they have to tell you first. So they put it in these little hidden agendas. But sometimes if we're asleep and if we're not aware, and if we're not in tune to our intuition, it's almost like it just kind of buys right past us, okay? So we just look at it as if, oh, you interpret with your regular mind rather than your Christ conscious mind in a sense. Okay, so I say all that to say that I felt like it was a form of manipulation, and I felt like not only that, but it was like a form of having some sort of witchcraft attached to it, as well as brainwashing in a sense. Okay, and not only that, but it's almost like you have to understand that, as I told you guys before, that words carry energy and it has some power behind it. It just depends on how it's being given, okay? So people know if they can say certain things or do certain things, sometimes if people are asleep, they can kind of take advantage of that and get away with it, okay? Without them realizing what it is that they're doing. But I'm here to tell you today, okay? Whether you want to hear it or not, it's up to you to hear it, but I'm just delivering a message. So, yeah, but this is a cruise line. It's called Virgin, and you can look or Google it on YouTube, but Google it. It says Virgin. It's like Virgin Cruise, but they got the children sitting there, and again, part of the commercial. But then at the end, because I think my kids thought I was tripping at one point. I said, that don't make no sense. And I think they thought I was tripping. But then at the end, at first I thought it was a cruise for kids. But I was like, well, why are they sitting up there saying virgin? Because I saw that, right? And then at the end, they had the nerve to say, but for adults only. So we have to be mindful of even, because God had even given me at that point when I saw that, just be mindful of what you're taking part in. Us as a society, we have become so numb to certain situations. That's how these people who traffic people, that's how these people who are manipulators and people who have been running games, brainwashing, doing manipulating energy and doing witchcraft. See, those are things that they want you to stay hidden from, so that way you don't know, because as long as you don't know about these things, that gives them more power in a sense, okay? So that's exactly what the occult is all about. If you think about it, the occult is hidden knowledge. So therefore, if it's hidden, they don't want you to know about it, okay? Because that gives them the power. But the moment that a person wakes up and understand that, no, like, we're not accepting this. No, I see what it is you're doing, or no, that we're not flying by that. It's a shame, but yeah. Just manipulated through candle work, manipulating time and space. I mean, it goes deeper than that. But yeah, I say all that to say that, people got to start, you got to get back to the point of really protecting our kids in a sense. Like, I mean, I can't speak for y'all, but my kids know, like my kid, I say all that to say that, God has given you something precious, and I just saw 717. God has given you something precious, so when he gives you something precious, it is up to you to protect it, okay? So, but anyway, but yeah, look at that video, y'all, and tell me, whether you tell me or not, just think about how you feel about that video, and just, again, it's a Virgin Cruise is what they're referring to it as. And not only that, but just be mindful too of, like, I guess, because Spirit also gave me too, be mindful, like, when going on these cruises, or even going to like these islands in a sense, or just going any place where there's like maybe young kids working or teenage kids working, because you never know. And God was giving this to me the other day, like 2 days ago or 3 days ago, when I saw this commercial. You never know that sometimes these kids can be, what is it, the Stockholm Syndrome? Sometimes these kids can be taken away from their families in a sense, to the point that they're even afraid to even say anything, that it's become the new normal in a sense, like, of wherever it is that they may be. But, we got to get back to the basics, y'all, because I'm just even hearing, like, even putting prayers back into school, because you notice the moment that they took prayer out of the schools, then we started dealing with stuff like shootings and all that other stuff. You didn't hear nothing about shootings back in the days when there was prayer in the school, okay? That just goes to show you how far we have gotten away from God, okay? I don't care if you Islam, I don't care if you Christian, or even if you just practicing your spiritual belief, even if you just sitting there and stating for 5 or 10 minutes, your quiet time, your own personal time, you know what I mean? Just protecting the schools, just protection. That was a form of protection. But the moment they took that out of the school, thank you, Spirit, I'm just hearing like that was your shield of protection. The protection went away, okay? Because Christ or Jesus, God was your form of protections inside the schools, okay? When we did have a moment of silence, and I remember that. But now that it's no longer there, it's almost like the protections are gone, okay? And we got to get back to that, okay? So anyway, but I'm going to end that there. I just wanted to give you guys this quick message because God had given me this the other day. So it's time to wake up to the truth. So some of you guys are going to see some shit that's just going to be like, oh my God, like, wow, like this was happening all this time. So I say all that to say, like, yeah, it's going to piss you off first. But just know that it's also going to set you free too, and go forward to make you want to, stay on the right path in a sense, and realizing that some of you may have partaked in certain situations or certain things in a sense that's just like, wow, I will never do that again in a sense. Okay. But anyway, so, oh, thank you, Spirit. And I was just about to go, but that's also too, while people have to be mindful of, when people give into, and this is a sensitive topic, right? But I'm going to state it because I feel like I'm being divinely guided to say. I was about to end it. But in regards to trafficking and so on and so on, you have to be mindful too. Like anytime you sitting there and you watching a situation, because I noticed this society, Hugh Hefner and all his little bunnies and so on, when they came up with that whole agenda for tripping men up, and it seems like, I'm not going to just say it's just one particular group of men, but I'm just going to say mainly a whole bunch of men in general, especially divine masculines. Okay, those people who actually have hearts like God in a sense. Society was meant to try to trip you up in a sense with the whole pornography thing. Okay, and I say all that to say, you never know what a person could, the person on the other end of the camera, you never know if that is somebody who is willingly wanting to be there, or if somebody who is forced there against their will. Okay, so that should be something that some people should ought to think about before actually partaking in some of these watchings in a sense, because you never know, somebody could be there against their will, somebody could have been taken, somebody could have been missing, somebody could have been trafficked. Okay, so just know that, and if nothing else puts the fear of God in you, in that, just say that to yourself, that you have an auntie, you have a mom, you have a sister, you have a granny, because apparently these people who are a part of this whole ring, they even to the point that they're getting slick and smart about it, because they're bringing women into it to help them with their agendas. And not only that, but they're using other kids to help them with their agendas. So I say all that to say, to coerce people in. So you have to be mindful of this, because I know, I did a video some time ago where God was just showing me, like, it was a bunch of girls inside this van, and these kids were being trafficked. Like, people were doing these different tactics and trying to lure them in through pets, through animals like dogs and so on and so on. So we have to be mindful. Okay, just to the point that, let me tell you this. Okay, how disturbing is this to see somebody in a cage? Okay, to see these cages stacked up on top of each other, like you would see, like, let's just say wild animals. Maybe they're at a sanctuary to the point that you're trying to nurse them back. Imagine seeing women and children inside those crates. Did you guys know that every, like 2 years ago, was it 2 years ago? Did you know that when this whole shutdown, what was happening? Did you guys know that during the shutdown, even in New York City, I think it's, what's that park in New York City? It was a situation going on in New York City where there was so many people who was in the underground bunkers. Okay, like these women and children and kids in general was so deformed to the point that they was stuck in cages. Imagine being stuck in a cage for trying to move. A body can become a little deformed, and and so on and so on. But I say all that to say, God had revealed to me of seeing people in cages, like stacked on top of each other. It was disturbing. So I say all that to say, this shit goes deeper than what a lot of people is really seeing underneath, than what they're really seeing on the surface. Okay, so I say all that to say, but that's why it's so important to not be distracted by the media, because that's exactly what the media was doing. They was talking about the whole 19 thing going on, while yet they was putting everybody in their homes while they was raiding some of these underground bunkers and all that other stuff. Okay, so that shit that the news don't cover. Okay, because they don't want you to know about that. They want to keep that hush hush. Okay, so anyway, but I'm gonna end it there. But with that being said, I wish you all much love, much light, and think about that. Think about that. Society has allowed people to become so numb that when they see a missing child, it's almost like, thank you, Spirit. I just see a notification. When somebody sees like a missing child or a missing child alert, it's almost like, do people go to the streets? Do we go to the streets? Or do we just kind of sit back and just kind of hope and pray, But at some point in time, God is going to get us back to a point that we're all going to start acting and moving, okay? And rather than sitting and not sitting in a response to just allowing people to just come along and take people's kids, okay? Because that is so wrong on so many different levels. That right there is someone who is soulless, okay? But not only that, but the people who are also involved, whether it is another mother, because sometimes I'm hearing spirits say that some of these people can be mothers of their own kids, but they're taking part in this, okay? And this is the reason why some of these bloodlines have to are being I'm hearing dismantled in a sense, okay, because of their doings. But anyway, I'm gonna end it there. But with that being said, I wish you all much love, much light, and I hope you guys go look up that little video so that you can see it for yourself and just think about it, sit on it, and ask God about it, okay? Much love, much light, and peace and blessings. Bye.